Was getting underway this morning, Trump was already announcing a new list of enemies he wants to throw in jail. This morning, he posted on his social media site, Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. Now, those threats against the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois come as Trump is flooding the city of Chicago with National Guard troops and ICE agents. But if Trump thought his threats would intimidate or silence those Democratic officials, obviously his goal, he was sorely mistaken.
This is a convicted felon. I mean, think about that, who is threatening to jail me. I got to say, this guy's unhinged. He's insecure. He's a wannabe dictator. And there's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me. So come and get me.
Love the direct-to-camera there. Now, that was the governor of Illinois, who does not appear, I think it's safe to say, to be the least bit cowed by Trump's threats to put him in jail. So Trump's threats are not working the way he wants them to. They are, however, putting Trump's buddies in a very uncomfortable position.
Speaker Johnson, thank you. Do you agree that the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois should be in prison?
Should they be in prison? Should the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois be in prison? I'm not the attorney general. I'm the Speaker of the House, and I'm trying to manage the chaos here. I'm not following the day-to-day on that.
I mean, first of all, the repeating of the questions there is a real tell that he is trying to figure out what the heck to say. And then what he came up with after those seconds of sort of stalling by repeating the questions is, I'm not following the day-to-day on that. Really? I mean, you're the Speaker of the House and you aren't tracking that the President of the United States threatened to throw another governor in jail? Not tracking? But that has come to be sort of something of a familiar refrain from Mike Johnson. I mean, here he was this summer trying to avoid the same question about Governor Gavin Newsom.
The president said, possibly in jest, that if he were Tom Homan, he would arrest Gavin Newsom. Do you believe that Newsom should face consequences in a legal way?
Look, that's not my lane. I'm not going to give you legal analysis on whether Gavin Newsom should be arrested.
President wants to arrest some sitting governors. I'm only second in line to the presidency and the most powerful person in one branch of government. But nope, not in my lane. Next question. What else you got? The thing is, Mike Johnson has used this excuse on all sorts of issues. I mean, here's what he said last May when he was asked about Trump's plans to accept a new Air Force One from the nation of Qatar and then keep it after leaving office.
I'm not following all the twists and turns of the Qatar jet. I've certainly heard about it. I'm going to leave it to the administration. They know much more about the details of that, okay? It's not my lane.
I mean, again, he's just the Speaker of the House. Sure, the Constitution gives Congress the sole authority to approve foreign gifts from the president. But what do you want from that guy? It's not his lane, not the Speaker of the House's lane. Maybe try asking him about something more directly related to Congress, like, say, the battle over redistricting. That's definitely related.
I'll tell you that the redistricting is the responsibility, it's the prerogative of the states, and so not really my lane.
Again, he is the Speaker of the House. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again. There are a few things that are more in his lane than the battle over how House districts are drawn, literally in his lane. But still, he took a pass. What about a simple question like, say, should a convicted child sex predator be set free?
Would you support a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker?
Well, I mean, obviously that's a decision of the president. He said he had not adequately considered that. I won't get in front of him. That's not my lane.
Really? I mean, not even a view on releasing a sexual predator. I kind of thought you might at least have a thought on that one. That's a pretty easy one. I mean, it's hard to imagine that none of those pressing issues are, quote, in his lane. But that excuse has become his go-to response every time he doesn't want to take a position or offer his real opinion or, God forbid, offend his dear leader, Donald Trump.
As Cash said in the vignette earlier, he's FBI. That's not my lane. I don't know. I don't know if I used the right word. I said FBI informant. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. This is in my lane. I've never seen all of the Epstein files. That's outside my lane. We're going to let the cabinet do their job, and I'm going to stay in my lane and do mine.
It's literally all in your lane. Every one of these issues is under Mike Johnson's purview as Speaker of the House, second in line to the presidency. And just in case you needed even more proof that this is a flimsy excuse to avoid answering questions or dealing with issues, just watch what happens when a reporter asks Mike Johnson about an issue that actually is outside his lane. Here was Mike Johnson just yesterday being asked whether Puerto Rican recording artist Bad Bunny should get to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Any reaction to Bad Bunny being chosen as the Super Bowl halftime performance?
I didn't even know who Bad Bunny was,
okay.
But it sounds like a terrible decision, in my view, from what I'm hearing. What's that?
How come?
Well, it sounds like he's not someone who appeals to a broader audience, and I think, there's so many eyes on the Super Bowl, a lot of young, impressionable children, and I think, in my view, you would have Lee Greenwood or role models doing that, not somebody like this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. I mean, a couple of things to say about that one. First off, Bad Bunny is one of the most popular recording artists in the country right now. I don't know if the speaker thought he was actually a Bad Bunny and why he referenced children. Who knows? He has nearly 80 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Safe to say he appeals to a much, much, much broader audience than Lee Greenwood. The 82-year-old country singer who performs his one hit over and over and over again at Trump rallies. But there's really no reason, actually, on this one for Mike Johnson to weigh in, because that question was actually not in his lane. And yet he had no trouble giving his opinion. The truth is Mike Johnson is torn, or it seems to be. He seems to be torn between two jobs. I mean, on the one hand, he's the Speaker of the House, tasked with responding to the many issues that come before Congress. And on the other hand, he is also the president's lapdog, protecting Trump at all costs, no matter how much humiliation he has to suffer to